FreeMMOStation.com.
Hola, aloha, my friends! I'm Skylent Shore with FreeMMOStation.com. I'm about to give you my first impressions of Akaneiro Demon Hunters. The game is by American McGee's company Spicy Horse, and it was set to release in late 2012, but that passed and it's not out yet. But it is an open beta, so you can go play it, give feedback, suggestions, report bugs and stuff. Get this game ready for release, get this game ready for gold. Also, what you can do is go to the Kickstarter, both links in the descriptions, and, give out some money, give out some stuff, whatever. You're going to have a lot of fun with this game, so if you feel charitable, go help get this game finished. Get it with more everything. Let's just get everything that this game is and more of it. So let's get this game out, and it's planned for release on PC, web browsers, Facebook, and Android tablets. Also, you can get the storybook on iOS, read through it, and there's also some comics that you can read on the internet. Also, really interestingly, is that these guys won an award. You can check out their artwork. It's amazing if you haven't seen already, but they won an award for their artwork at intothepixel.com for 2012, so that was really cool too. And just looking at this game, you can tell it's going to be artsy, it's going to be fun, but trust me, the story as well, the lore, is just as tasteful. So quickly, before I just rant on about how pretty the game looks, let me talk about the game actually. So Akaneiro Demon Hunters has a really interesting class setup. The character customizer is really only valuable for leveling, and at the moment, the only lasting difference is you get a price cut from choosing a discipline for the discipline's skills that you use, as well as how your character emblem appears. In the future, though, I would like to see more customization with the characters and the emblems, like when co-op comes out. But for now, I really like how the game allows you to choose a playstyle and experience the beginning of the game, but in no way does it limit your ability to hybridize your character or completely switch skill sets. So you can choose between male or female, and between 3 disciplines. They each clearly define a certain playstyle, but only for your starter levels. As you level up and gain wealth, you'll be able to retrain every aspect of your character, and you can wear any type of armor. And you can use any type of weapon. And choosing a discipline is meant for guidance, and I think a great way to introduce players to the game and get them thinking about combinations of abilities and as well as parties. But co-op isn't yet implemented into the game, but they will if the Kickstarter succeeds, which hopefully it will. Hopefully this video and everyone else's videos can get people into it and we can get this game funded. And yeah, it's really cool that they're doing it free to play, and I hope they keep adding on to it and everything. I hope everyone gets really into it like I am. I'm into this game. I like it so much. Even after playing my first impressions, I kept playing. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm probably going to play this like every day, honestly, for a while. Anyways, so you can use 3 spells at any one time and can set up 3 sets of these sets of spells just in case you want to change up how you're playing depending on the level. There's a good assortment of abilities from the 3 disciplines, and they're all really valuable, which makes it hard to choose from. Right now, the starter village is really cool, but as you can see, there is a certain object in the game which looks like it appears that we'll be able to go to different villages and different towns and be able to do different things when that comes. Of course, it is a beta, so not everything is in yet, and honestly, these guys are really ambitious. I think this is going to be awesome. There's so much that it seems that you can do. Also, crafting is not yet in the game, but it will be in the game, and already I can tell you that I'm excited for that. Even without the crafting, even without so much, this game is still just a ton of fun, mainly because of how it looks. So let's talk about the art style. This art style is ridiculously pretty. It is cel-shaded, but also what I think really gives it depth and atmosphere is just like the setting that it takes place in. It's very it's dark fantasy, so it has fantasy with elements of horror in it, which is lovely. It's absolutely lovely. The gameplay and the aesthetic of it basically is sort of like Diablo. The cel shading does make everything really popish. It makes everything pop out. It makes everything really obvious. And even though you can't change your camera control, and even though you are moving with the mouse, I have to say that everything is really fluid, and I never really lose myself. I never really look at a scene and like ask myself, what am I looking at? No, everything is really bold. Everything really stands out. Everything's really obvious. So that's really good. Normally I don't like games that just use the mouse, but I have to say that it just works so well. The controls, everything works so well, especially for a beta. I mean, it's not gold yet, but it is just solid. and for a browser-based game. Most browser-based games suffer from extreme lag, but right now they're ironing it all out, and it's so good. At the moment, I was downloading Terra. I was actually downloading a huge MMO at the same time on Wi-Fi. My connection was not great at the time, and still in the browser was running pretty well. So stress testing it, doing all sorts of other beta stuff. I have to say that this game was done very well, and even there's some times where mobs would spawn off the map a little bit. They aggro right to you. Everything's fine. Little glitches, they're not game breaking. So that's really cool. I'm sure there are some people that get stuck in everything, but so far my beta experience, because this is sort of a first impressions of the beta, was really good for a beta. And I played a lot of betas, and this is really good. So enough about reviewing the beta. Well, I guess I'll talk a little bit more. Right now, there is not really features to change resolution, not really any features to change sound and everything. But that's a beta thing, and that'll probably be changed. If not, I hope for it to be changed. And that's it. Okay, so that's enough of the beta. Let's just talk about the game. Alright, so the game as a whole, I like it. I like it a lot. Talking about the story, essentially what it is it's set in a mythological feudal Japan era kind of thing. And it's the story of Red Riding Hood. So it's taking a European, French story and mixing it with Japanese mythology. And that's really cool. American McGee actually has experience with this sort of twisted dark fantasy kind of thing with their Alice in Wonderland games. And that sort of, I think that experience really helped to mesh with this game. Like, it really helped to bring depth to the game. And I think it's really awesome. Now, I have played some Japanese mythology or just Japanese, feudal Japanese games. There's not too much to it. It's sort of historical, you know, but this game adds that sort of twist with the Red Riding Hood thing. It is pretty interesting, I have to admit. I am going to try to look up the comics, read the storybook, all that, and I suggest that you do too, because it's just, I think it's unique. I think it's really unique, and I'm glad that they did that. I'm glad that they took a chance on this new sort of IP. It's really cool. Alright, so as you see, I'm going through, I'm slaughtering little wolves and everything, and I'm using ability with my left mouse. I can also use the 1 key, and you can see I have slots for 2 other spells. Later on, you're going to see me get another spell and use it. But right now, when you start out with Cunning, you start out with a sword, and you can use a bow attack, which can be charged. It takes up some magic. I think it's the same amount of magic, but it does more damage, though you have to stand still and charge it. It's really good for sniping people, and you can snipe monsters, mobs. You can just snipe them down. It's really good if you want to get a good advantage instead of just charging in there. So that's just like the Cunning playstyle suggests. You run around, shoot, you can run back, run away. You're going to see me do that a lot, running away while charging my, my magic, so I can run away and then use the bow again. You do have to aim it though, which is interesting. It's a little bit difficult because you try to run away and then you got to put the mouse on the monster, which is behind you. So it takes a little bit of skill, it takes a little bit of aiming, but if you're used to sort of first-person shooters, used to stuff like that, it shouldn't be too hard. Using the mouse isn't so difficult. It is a lot of fun though, I have to say. Even though the controls, I felt like they should be wonky, but they're not. Like, it's like, I understand it. Like, I like it. I don't know. It really adds to the game that everything is done with the mouse. You can use your abilities, and once you get your abilities, like your 1, 2, and 3, then you're going to be using the 1, 2, and 3 a ton. So me, personally, since I'm using the mouse a lot, and I have to use the mouse to aim and stuff, I decided that I'm going to have an ability, 1 ability or 2 abilities that actually move me. So later on, you're going to see me get a dash attack. So that's really cool. Also, my playstyle, I decided that I wanted to... Okay, real quick. This is the death. Okay, so I died. I'm going to revive here. You can just escape, or you can just revive full health. Each time you do that, though, it costs more and more. So, yeah. But the good thing is it's not this huge detrimental thing like Dark... What was that? What was that game? There was a game. I even reviewed it. Frick! I remember. Wizardry Online. Wizardry Online, you died, you lost all your stuff unless you ran back to it. You could instantly respawn, but it costs like an item. It costs a lot, like real life money. Zenonia does that. There's a lot of Asian-based or Eastern-based games that do that, where you have to like pay real money to resurrect with all your stuff, or there's like some huge consequence, you de-level or something. In this game, no, it's really easy. Like, basically what I just got there in the boxes was pretty much the cost for my resurrection. And then if you like get stuck on a level, you resurrect 4 or 5 times, then it starts getting sort of somewhat costly, but really in the end you're gonna get like a bonus karma for completing the level, which will essentially pay for your resurrections. Really cool. Basically you're just wasting your time if you die. It's better if you don't die. You can die though. I'm sure there are probably going to be times where you probably won't be able to beat the level, but as long as you've collected enough karma, you can probably beat the level. You resurrect enough times and do that. Alright, so this is a boss fight, and I'm trying to be cunning. I'm trying to run away. You see I'm doing my little bow thing. I'm totally failing, missing a lot. You can just whack on people, and if you play the different disciplines, one does a lot of damage up front, so you kill people really quickly. The other is really tanky, but it also does, it's more of like damage too, it's damage and defense. But you can also get different sort of enchantments. There are levels of items, you know, you have epic quality, rare quality, you have all this, and when crafting comes out, I'm sure it'll be really easy to get different enchantments and stuff, but you can have different weapons that maybe absorb damage, or like you heal yourself after attacking, or chances to stun, you know, stuff like that, or just basic attack plus, you know, stuff like that. I have to say that the loading times are really good. A lot of browser games lately have been really impressing me with that, and I think that, I don't even know the technology behind that. It's just so cool. Right, so when you level up, you can choose which discipline you want to level up. So even though you chose a discipline, you're not really stuck into it. You just you can choose what you want to get bonuses for. You can also choose spells between everything. You can wear all the different armors, all that. Just really cool, really hybrid friendly game. Right, so in the bottom left you see the global chat. That's really cool. Also, they have stats and everything, and I would really like to see leaderboards. I think it would be really cool to see leaderboards, talk with people, send private messages and stuff like that. And I do, like I said, I love the global chat. I love talking to people. That's so fun. Blacklight Retribution got me addicted on that. So that's awesome. If you ever played World of Warcraft, you know what I'm talking about, Baron's chat. Alright, so, woo, items, right? Okay, so you get a lot of items from looting, all that. It just sort of randomly spawns. And the green items are enchanted items. They have like a little extra thing on them. So I wanted things that gave me magic or, you know, power. And I just wanted to do a lot of damage at first. But then I decided that magic regen is the most important thing to me, especially later on when I get my other skills. I've decided that that's most important for me because that allows me to be really hyper on the game, makes me really flexible. But if you're someone who wants to be like actually cunning, I suggest maybe doing like having really high speed, so you can run around and be like a little ninja and then snipe people, or just like all out power or critical chance, so that whenever you hit somebody with your bow from long range, it does a ton of damage. It's really cool because you have a couple long range attacks. Even between the disciplines there are some sort of ranged attacks, but with cunning you do have 2 spells that are specific to like a sniper kind of thing, and they have like, as you rank them up, first you buy the spell and then you can rank it up multiple levels, and it sort of does additional things as well as doing just more damage overall. So my bow attack, when I rank it up to level 2, what it does is it hits and then it stuns people around the person that got hit. So that's really cool, and if like, even if people are near me and I'm surrounded, I can just sort of shotgun it and stun a lot of people or run away, which is why I'm going to keep that spell, because it helps with my survivability. Even though it's sort of like a sniper one hit kill kind of thing, it's also really good for survivability, which is really cool. It's really interesting that these spells not only work really well in between each other, when co-op comes in there's probably going to be so much depth with that, but the spells themselves have like a lot of layers with them, especially when you rank up. There's just so many like tactics that you can do. It's pretty surprising. Right, so if you notice, there's a transmute button right below the inventory. Basically what that does is it gives you some gold for your weapons, so that if your inventory gets full during a mission, you know, you can't go to a shop, you can transmute it for at least some currency. And then, you know, in hopes for you picking up better weapons later on. Right, so we are at the spell vendor, and as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells each for the 3 disciplines, and they all do very different things in between the different disciplines and as well as inside the different disciplines. But basically, prowess, you know, the attacks do like upfront damage, They don't, and then Fortitude is like really crowd control-ish and defense-ish and healing, and then Cunning is like to escape and do damage in different ways. It's sort of different than Prowess. Prowess is like straight up damage. Cunning is more like damage over time or at a range. So I mean, all the spells are different, and if you want to go just Cunning, then you are totally fine to do that. There's definitely like so many different combinations, like uncountable right now. I'm not even about to think about it. There's just so many combinations of powers that you can do. Also, you can retrain your masteries. So if you want to change one, or if you really like the one that you started out with, then you have a head start with that one, and you can go ahead and train that one again. So you have dual wielding. You can use two-handed, or there's dueling, which is just using one-handed. And if you spec in that, then you get a higher chance of critical hits. So even though you're going to do less damage overall, you're going to do a lot of damage on your critical hits, massive attacks, you know, stuff like that. So here's some gameplay of me going at the later levels. You can see some sort of different change in appearance throughout all the levels. There's different caves, there's different areas, you know. There's a huge range, and they all look really good. I love the art style, but we definitely talked enough about that. Just saying that the different levels have different aesthetics, but overall the level design is really similar. You're gonna find places that it's not very tunnely. Most places are like these pods, and then they're connected with tunnels. So you quickly go from pod to pod, and normally the pods have structures inside of them, so you can wrap around and run around. They basically make it really easy for the player to move around. Though there are times where you are going to be swarmed with people, the game never really feels claustrophobic, which is really good. It's just enough space to move around, and at the same time it's just enough closure so that you're not like super far away and like monsters can like not find you. So it's just perfect. It's just perfect for difficulty and ease. Also, depending on your discipline, the map layout might be good or bad, and you might want to go to different places. Since I am using the bow a lot, I do use the circles, running around pillars and stuff. I use that to my advantage. However, if you have a lot of AoE attacks, or if you're a tankish, then maybe you're going to want to go into the places that are very linear, so that you can run people into them and bottleneck them and then hit them all at once. After I get a new ability, I definitely do that over and over again. So the level design, it does have just enough variation for the different play styles, but it is it's not open world. It is still very dungeon crawly, but I like it a lot. It's just perfect, just fine. Great, so we are killing some wolves, and right now the story is, you know what, actually I don't want to spoil it, but basically there's some demons. You're gonna see a lot of lingo from Japanese lore, like yokai, which is like the demons. And here we go with a boss, right? So we're gonna fight some of these little guys. There's a little goblin dude right there. We're gonna take him out, and then a boss is gonna show up, and that's when I'm really gonna show off the run around pillar technique, you know, my jutsu. So this huge guy, I can't even begin to think of fighting him straight on like this. The game is actually pretty difficult. This is just after the tutorial mission. This is like, I think, the third mission in. You get in here really soon, like not even an hour gameplay. First boss here. You're probably gonna die. You're probably gonna die. So anyways, I'm running around. I'm trying to think of what to do. There's just so much going on, and this is nothing. Like later on, there's so much more. Anyways, later I complete it. I get that done. You get experience during the match, during the whole level, but you don't actually acquire it until after you leave and go back to the village. So anyways, I'm here with my new spell, new armor, new everything, having so much fun just slaughtering people. And even after this, I finally get a healing spell, and then I just became berserk. And that is exactly the style of gameplay that I wanted, and I'm glad that there is such customization. It's also really cool seeing the different variations of mobs, kind of. Like, there's different layouts. Sometimes there's ambushes. You can make a character that's really good that's against ambushes. Sometimes they're just wandering around, so maybe you want a character that just one hits or really good with solo battle. Then again, there's sort of specs for different bosses or boss fights. And then there's, a lot of the time, there are just a whole bunch of enemies, a whole bunch of mobs. You can spec to that. So I just love how there's sort of this play between your character and the enemies and how the map is laid out, where the enemies are in the map. You can also drag enemies to different places, but not too far. You can't run the whole dungeon. And when the beta first came out, you could do that, I think, but now you can't. They're really testing it. Really, a lot of people are playtesting it. It's open beta, so tons of people are probably playing this game and testing it. And they're really getting the AI down, and you can't really cheat it. You can't just aggro them all the way. Which is also good. If you want to play a cunning style, you can aggro people and then you can actually escape and run away. I think that's really cool. I would like to see some sort of stealth mechanic. Maybe if you're in tall grass, you're hidden. Very League of Legends-y. Speaking of League of Legends, I could definitely see this game having some competitive potential. I mean, I do like leaderboards, and I would like to see leaderboards and cooperative sort of gameplay, cooperative sort of versus. But I want to suggest the idea of versus. I think versus mode would be fine. I would love to see that. But anyways, as the game as it is right now, first impressions, I had a lot of fun. What I'm also having fun with is sort of ideas with the game, because like I said, this game has like such a good foundation that there is just a ton of potential for that. I'm having a lot of fun with the different spells, with the different bosses, the different sort of mechanics between fights. I'm just having fun with the game as a whole, and I can't wait to dive into the story. But like I said, when the game actually comes out with more features and I get to have more fun with that, like crafting, talking with people on the leaderboards and stuff, or like talking with just people on the forums about different playstyles, different techniques, all that stuff, I really want to get into this game, and this game made me want to get into it because it just came out with this artwork, it just came out with this unique gameplay. It's weird I said that, unique gameplay, because the game actually borrows a ton of influence from, like I said, Diablo-ish kind of games and dungeon crawler kind of games. But it's just the way like the customization adds to it, so much. Like there's no sort of template. It's just like you go in, you play how you want to, and that's why I'm looking forward to co-op so much. But it just like this game just sort of presented itself as like, hey, we can do whatever we want. There's no true limits, because we have this fantasy setting that we made, and we want you guys to play in it and help us evolve it. And I think that's really awesome. And guys, let's make this something big. Remember, Kickstarter in the description, open beta in the description. Really cool. So, if you're interested in this game, I've played another browser-based game that's pretty similar. It's an MMO, free-to-play. I did a review of it, and it's called City of Steam. It's also on our channel here, and if you want to see more reviews, more MMOs, more stuff of free MMO games, then check out FreeMMOStation.com. Right, so I had a lot of fun with this game. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with the video, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun with the game yourselves. Remember, links in the descriptions, and just have a riot with it, okay? Have fun, friends, and see you later.